So WWE 2K26 for the Nintendo Switch 2 got update 1.08. Now, you might be surprised to hear that we actually got the update day and date with the other consoles. Today is the day, after all, that this update goes live everywhere, and those of us who played this game on the Nintendo Switch 2, well, we got it too. So I guess that means that the 2K team finally feels that the Switch 2 version is up to snuff with the other versions of the game. And I'm gonna be honest, I totally forgot that we were even gonna get an update today. I've been playing Kena, Bridge of Spirits, and Tears of the Kingdom so much that I forgot about this game. But I booted it up and I was surprised to see that there was an update because, like I said, I'm a little bit out of the loop. But let's just get to what's new with this patch. So this officially is the beginning of the new season. Before we go any further though, if you like fighting games on the Nintendo Switch, then I think you and I are gonna get along. So do yourself a favor and hit the like button real quick so you don't miss my next video. So we're gonna be taking a look at a few things. I know the patch notes don't really say anything specific about the Switch 2 version, but we're still gonna take a look at the Inferno match and the Elimination Chamber match to see if some of the things that were screwed up before were finally squared away. As you know, 8-man matches had problems early on when the game launched, and those issues were pretty much fixed. The new season for the Ringside Pass starts today, and if you bought the fan favorite pass, which is what it's called, then with it, the characters included are going to be Axe, Crush, Smash, and Kelly Kelly. Here's a bit of a reminder. If you had this game prior to the 1.07 update, then you're going to automatically be skipped to Tier 21 for the new Ringside Pass. Another notable thing from the last update, which we can see now, is that when update 1.07 launched a few weeks ago, they did announce that when the new Ringside Pass comes out, which is today, the new DLC characters were going to be included in Tier 1. So you're not going to have to grind too much just to get the characters that you paid for. And we can see that here. This is me unlocking them. With the community creations, we're now close to 500 pages, and that's with cross-platform turned on. So needless to say, it's taking quite a while for the other creations to be approved. You gotta remember, on the other consoles, if they have cross-platform turned on, then at this point they have over 10,000 pages of creations. While we, on the Switch 2, got a paltry 500, but it is what it is. One of the things that was kind of annoying, and which was a Nintendo Switch 2 specific problem, was that in handheld mode, Blake Monroe's entrance just never loaded properly. The entrance would run, and you can see her walking down the ramp, but the whole gimmick with Blake Monroe's entrance was the mirror, and whenever you would play this in handheld mode, the mirror would just be completely blacked out. But as you can see here, this is handheld mode footage in the latest update, and they finally were able to fix it. I guess this probably means that the team that's working on the Switch 2 edition, which is the actual in-house developer Visual Concepts, I guess it means that they're finally getting pretty used to the Switch 2 architecture. As we know, it's no longer Shiver Entertainment like they did with WWE 2K25. So it is good to see that Visual Concepts is leveling up with the Switch 2. The game runs so much better than it did a month ago. Hopefully this means that we also get 2K27 and that it launches on the Switch 2 with little to no problems. Now let's take a look at how the Inferno match runs. It was already pretty decent in the last update, but I wanted to see if they were able to keep it at a constant 60 frames per second. As we saw in the last update, it was a lot more stable than before, and it no longer went in slow motion whenever you were in Inferno mode. However, there were still some drops, which to me is not the end of the world. I think it ran just fine with the last update, but I know that some people out there, they see one single frame drop and it just ruins their entire day. Like you see though, it's mostly 60 until you get to the Inferno mode, and that's when you're going to start seeing some drops. But even then, it's not like before where the whole thing just slows down. It still feels very playable, unlike before. And like I said, it goes back to around 60 frames and stays there for the most part. This is a night and day difference. And now let's check out the thumbtacks. I was a little bit worried that this was going to be one of those things that gets fixed and then it breaks again, and with the last update, as you know, the thumbtacks finally started sticking to the wrestlers' bodies, but they disappeared during the replays. So let's see with this update. For this footage, I made sure to open up like 5 bags of thumbtacks and just fill the whole ring with them. I also tried to put another knot in Liv Morgan's forehead with my wifey Stephanie Raquel. Also, is it just me or is Liv Morgan bugged? During this match, I noticed that the only move that she ever did on me was the 3 amigos. She just did that same move over and over and over. She did it so often that it was just impossible not to notice. As you can see, the thumbtacks do finally stick to the body, and even in the replays, that is still the case. Alright, you know what, that's going to be it for today. I was just going to save this video for tomorrow, but I gotta have it done today. So I guess that means I'm going to go to work on very little sleep now, which is not good, but I had to make this video today. I'll try to make a gameplay video tomorrow. I'm Switchblade done.